Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today I just wanted to speak about essentially why I collect video games in 2024 and what my reasoning is for it basically. So as a bit of a backstory, I used to collect video games when I was a little bit younger, probably like 6 or 7 years ago. I had a small collection, had a few consoles, had the Xbox 360, Xbox, Mega Drive, Master System, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3. Um, it was only small, I was only starting out. Um, but yeah, that was probably about 6 or 7 years ago, it must have been by now. But I had to sell most of it due to circumstances, due to moving to a new country was a big part of it. So I think about 2 years ago now, I sort of started back up my whole collection, and what I've amassed now is about 2 years worth of work. I'm quite proud of it. I haven't gone like hammer with it. I haven't gone super like I need everything, because that's not what I'm going for here. Um, but I've added stuff over time organically, and this is what I've got really for it. You saw the room tour video, probably not the best shot video, but we're learning, we're still going. So, you know, I just wanted to make this video as a bit of a backstory and as to the reasons why I still collect video games in 2024. Um, so yeah, one of the main reasons for me is physical media. I'm always on the side of physical media rather than digital. Both have pros and cons. You know, digital, you don't have to store all of this. You don't have to store any of this. You know, it takes up a lot of space, but you know, if you have the space, it's good. So, physical for me is a big factor because, in my opinion, take Twisted Metal for example, you own the game. I have the game, I have the case, I have the disc, I have the manual, I have everything. You know, if you buy it digitally, there's been a lot of controversy going around now that you don't actually own the rights to it. You just have the lease to actually play the game, and then the company can just take away your access just, you know, in a blink of an eye. So, I don't know, it's a bit of a grey situation, but it's one of them. Some, you know, it does have its benefits, digital, it does. You can get good deals. You know, if there is deals on the marketplaces, whether it be Xbox Store or PlayStation or Nintendo, yes, some of the games can be good, um, but you can't sell them. That's another point I want to make. You can't sell the games when you have them digital. You are stuck with them. If you don't like your game, you are stuck with it. Unless you buy on Steam, on PC, and you play for less than 2 hours and put in a refund request, you are stuck with the game you've bought, whether it's for full price for 70 quid or if it's whatever. You can't get the money back, especially very easily anyway. It just doesn't happen. Whereas if you have physical, you can. I can sell this to a friend. I can go like, hey, there you go. You can have that. I want £10 for it. He gives me the cash. Thank you. Voila. There you go. Or I could trade it into CEX. I could do whatever. Put it on eBay. Anything. Because I own it. And this is my copy. Where, you know, which is a big selling point in my opinion when you have physical over digital. Um, yeah, like that's probably the main point I'm trying to make is, especially going forward, you don't know what's going to happen with the next gen of consoles, whether they will be predominantly digital or will be physical as well. Because I know I'm not stupid. I know that digital is the way forward, and it will be the way forward for the future. But I think if you can preserve what's already there and what is already out there, I think it's just good for the good for the space of gaming. I really do, especially when you take, like Mega Drive, for example. It's over a 30-year-old console, and there's still games out there you can buy, you can play. Don't need any updates, you don't need any of that. You can just plug and play, and away you go. And it's over 30 years old. Like, yeah, some of the games are hard to find and are expensive, but you don't need anything else to help you play the game. You don't. You don't need nothing. You just need the console, the controller, the leads. Boom. Away you go. Hey presto. But I still collect. I enjoy collecting. I predominantly collect Sony. I've always been a Sony sort of fanboy, especially from like my first console was like a PlayStation 1. And ever since then, it's just been Sony. I've had an Xbox 360 many a times. I don't mind Xbox. I've had an Xbox One, but to me, I just prefer Sony. There's nothing to it. There's no animosity or anything like that. It's just that I prefer Team Blue rather than Team Green. That's all. It's neither console's better than the other. They're just consoles, and I so happen to play on my PlayStation 3 with all my friends, and that's really what was it. Really, I think that's the main part of whatever console you collect for is the one you have more nostalgia for. I played the PS3 religiously growing up, and it's the console that all my friends had. It's the console that literally brought life into 10-year-old me. It was brilliant. It's fantastic. That's why I have nearly 200 games on the system, and I'm not really going for a full set or anything like that because that would be stupid. But there is an abundance of PS3 games. No, I don't have the space. I'm running out of space as it is. I've predominantly bought games that I either missed out when they first came out, so I'm now replaying them, or games that I just think look good. Not anything shovelware, really, to be honest. There's a bit, but it was mainly the games I already had, like from growing up, because some of this is from previous, like from my childhood. So I have games that are pretty terrible, like FIFA's. They're useless now, unless you just want to play career mode, but there's some good games in there, some expensive games. I don't do it for the value of the games. I do it for the content on the games. Like Twisted Metal, I haven't played this yet, but I am so looking forward to playing it because it's one of the best franchises to be left behind. There's no new Twisted Metal game for a long time since this. So I'm intrigued to see whether it still holds up or if it is any good, basically. Because I've never played a Twisted Metal game before. So going into, 2024 and the landscape of collecting video games, I think a lot has changed since I restarted two-ish years ago. A lot more people are now just collecting for the sake of collecting rather than buying games or buying consoles that they have nostalgia for or they just want to play. Um, and a lot of people get lost in the world of monetary value of their game collection. So I have X, Y, and Z. It's worth £5,000. Okay, like that's good. It's really good. But if you do it for the value or the monetary gains, I think you're in the wrong hobby, as it were, because it's not a hobby. Then you're doing it literally just to make more money in the future. Yes, this will be a little nest egg. Maybe in like 20 or 30 years, these might be worth, I don't know, £4,000, whatever. Yeah, okay, that's great, but if I can have my fun playing the games I want to play, then I don't care about the value of the games. Yeah, I want to get the full Silent Hill collection. I think I'm 2 games away. I've got Downpour on order from eBay, which still hasn't turned up, like 3 weeks later. But here we go. Um, I just need that, and I think I need that Downpour, Shattered Memories, and Silent Hill 1. They're the only ones I need. Because I love the Silent Hill franchise. I love horror games. I never used to. I used to be like a little scaredy pants, but now I'm just into my horrors. I like my Saw games. I only saw 1, Saw 2 is pretty terrible, but you know, you get the rough with the smooth, as it were. But yeah, I think you should go into it wanting to experience new games, experience new genres, experience new things you haven't done before, rather than just doing it for monetary value. Because it's just my opinion. I just think it's not the best way to go about it, but each to their own. Everybody does what they want to do. I, you know, it's just one of them. Um, yeah, going into the landscape of 2024 and how it's been collecting. CEX play the monopoly with everything, especially this January that just passed. They decided to go, you know what, we're going to charge for manual and without manual, which boosted a lot of games prices quite a bit, to be honest. You were looking at like a good £10, maybe even £20, £30 difference between manual and without manual, which in some cases it is very difficult to find the manual and maybe worth the extra £10, £15 for it. But like if you're charging extra like 30 quid or something like that, it makes it hard because not many people are actually now selling manuals for games separately. Whereas you could have got some a few years ago. Quite happily, search on eBay for any sort of like manuals you were looking for. But now it's quite deserted. There's not a lot on there. So I don't know what's going to happen there. But they do play the monopoly with prices of games. You can see that on eBay. You can see that on Vinted. Um, although not really at car boots or anything like that. People just charge what they want. If they want 50p for a game that's worth 30 quid, that's what they charge. You might get lucky, you might not. There's a few YouTubers I watch that have been lucky recently, which I'm very jealous of. But, you know, these are few and far between. Everybody gets a little bit of luck. You have to. So I think it's good. There's a lot more people now just collecting in general and realizing that physical media is the GOAT and it is the go-to thing. It might be. Well, even if it's not games, people are now starting to collect DVDs, Blu-rays, or whatever, 4Ks. Because streaming services again have the monopoly, but they don't have everything you want. That's the key to me. Yeah, I have a PS5, so right underneath there, and I don't have many games for it. I have 5. I sold quite a lot because I have PlayStation Extra, and I can get a lot of the games I just want to play here and there on it. Like it's an extra £2 a month, and that's good enough for me because I don't play the PS5 all that much compared to like PS3. So I don't mind that. That's a good thing for digital. But plus PS5 prices for games are still quite high for your new releases and everything. So is it on? We're still on. That's good. Yeah. It's an interesting space, especially when we're now heading halfway through 24. PS5's been out what, 3.5 years ish, maybe even 4 at this point, nearly. Um, they're saying that the PS6 is coming out in like 2 years, which is insane to me because I only got that like last year for my birthday, and because it was the only time I could have because it was expensive and you couldn't get one. And the fact that they're now trying to release a new one is just wild to me. But I suppose every console generation is about 7, 8 years, so it's about right. But going forward, I think for me personally, I will do just what I keep doing: is picking up small little pickups here and there for games that I want to play or games that are stupid and I just want to see what they're like. Um, I've got a few games sitting over there which you can't see at the minute, which I picked up today um, for less than £15 for all four, which isn't too bad. But it's just, yeah, I will get some of the heavier hitter games when I can. Obviously, money is not readily available for everyone, especially not me. So we just do what we can with what we have, and you don't get upset. So if I have any advice for anybody starting a gaming collection in 2024, I would say just do what you want to do. Start what you want to start. If you have nostalgia for the PS3, start with the PS3. You don't have to buy every single game you see on the shelf. All you have to do is just buy what you want. You can listen to YouTubers and say, oh yeah, you should get this game, you should get that game. Yes, they're probably right. You probably should because of values and they will probably shoot up in the future. But to start your gaming collection, you don't need huge amounts of money, especially if you have the console already. You can just buy the cheaper games that give you the content that you want. You could buy Call of Duties or the Fallouts, although they've gone up in price now. Probably not the Fallouts. Or Red Dead Redemption on the PS3. It's £4 in CEX. That's so much game for £4. It's insane. But I would start with a console that you want, or you have nostalgia. Even if you want to go older, you can go PS2. There's so many good games on the PS2. There's so many good games. I have over 200 just sitting down here, and most of them are just decent titles that play okay, and it's just a cheap starting point. If you don't have loads of money, you don't need to worry because you can buy your £3, £4 games or even your £2 games that aren't sports titles. That's the main point. They're not just sports titles. If you want something newer, I think the PlayStation 4 is probably the starting point. I would, especially over the Xbox, because with PlayStation 4 is fully backwards compatible with PS5. So if you eventually get a PS5, you have your whole PS4 library available to you, as well as PS5 exclusives, which is to me a very big bonus over the PS4 to PS3 because you can't play PS3 on the PS4. So my biggest advice would be just to pick what you want and do what you want. It's an individual thing at the end of the day. You can't really just buy everything everybody else wants you to buy or suggests. Yes, suggestions are brilliant and you might find great games, 100%. But if you're starting out, buy what you want and just do it for you. If you like handhelds, buy a DS. They're so cheap and the library is so big. You can buy Pokemons, you can buy anything on the DS library. It's insane. Personally, not a fan of the DS, but that's my personal opinion. I've had one, minis, DS, DSIs. The Game Boy's a good one. Expensive-ish for boxed games. If you don't care for boxed games, it's not too bad. But boxed and complete, they're more expensive. But obviously, it's Nintendo cardboard at the end of the day. Even the Wii or the Wii U. I know the Wii U still holds a small bit, a good bit of value, but it's small library. You are limited to what was it, 182 games, I think, something there in the PAL library, I believe. But yeah, it's just going forward. It's going to be interesting, and I'm just going to take it a step at a time. You know, it's just it is what it is. You can't really complain about game prices going up because they will always go up regardless. It's a supply and demand thing. As the consoles get older, the games will go up. It's just a given. It makes perfect sense. Apart from like sports titles, always your sports titles. So I don't know. I just wanted to make this video just to have a little bit of a backstory and a catch up as to why I collect in 2024, why I'm still going to be collecting, because I have such a passion for video games and physical media and anything Sony related, really, to be honest. I am a Sony fanboy. I will freely admit that. You can rinse me in the comments if you want to. Feel free. But it's just, I love it. I do. My girlfriend sometimes doesn't, but that's fair. I think that's fair criticism. But yeah, I think that's everything I have to really say on the subject. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I know it's probably a longer one, a bit of a just a wordy one, but I think it's I think it's needed. I think it explains what I'm here to do, what hopefully going forward, sort of some of the content that I will be able to provide. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm just uploading as and when I sort of want to at the minute, and just having fun doing it, to be honest. Learning new skills, learning everything. It's brilliant. It's fantastic. But yeah, I am Lornus. This is my video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Goodbye.